All right, today, welcome back to the stream, everyone. Hopefully, we are live. But today, we got some interesting news out of California. I guess their version of like the Clean Air Board or EPA. But if you haven't heard, today we're going to talk about how California has banned gasoline cars, and they've really given their plan on how they're going to phase out gas cars for the next, I guess, like 10 years, give or take. And it's pretty interesting that they're actually giving it a phase out, unlike maybe some other programs for EVs, and how that might other EV tax credits would just be phased away completely. But yeah, California completely is moving to ban gasoline cars by 2035. We're going to talk about kind of the ban, the rollout, what it means exactly for which different vehicles. I think we're going to talk about maybe, we're going to touch on the grid of the electric grid, how like people talk about can the California grid even like handle this. Maybe we'll talk about how the EV market and how this might affect it. There's really only going to be a couple winners, I think. And there was also another big thing that happened today in the EV market with a particular model that rose their prices. So we'll go into that. And then, of course, at the end, a Q&A if anyone has any questions from Tesla, buying a Tesla, or anything of that matter. But before we get into the video, please, or before we get into the live stream, please like and subscribe. And this video is sponsored by myself. If you have any Tesla questions, or if you're confused on what to do with buying, selling, or even financing a Tesla, check out my Calendly link down below in the description. You can schedule a call with me, 15 minutes, and you also get my buying and selling resource guide with a bunch of links and everything, so you can take a look. And of course, I'll respond to any questions after a call moving forward if you need help with anything. But welcome back, everybody, and let's get into the stream about how Cali is banning cars. So today there was a news article in California. This basically started like a couple of years ago, because when people were sending me this headline, I thought it was old. But because Newsom, our California governor, I think he came out and said 2 years ago that he was going to move to ban gasoline car sales, new car sales. But it looks like today they voted, their air regulators, as it says here, voted together, and they're going to go ahead and ban gasoline cars, the cardboard. And I actually was watching a video earlier from, I guess this is KTLA 5, but this is how they're going to roll this out. 35% of all new cars have to be zero emissions by 2026. So basically, like next year. Realistically, that's three to 4 years from now. So they're giving some manufacturers a runway of time. But 35% of new cars, that's a lot of cars. And that got me thinking, like, how many cars does California even sell? I know nationally, I think the SAR, as they call it, seasonally adjusted rate of car sales, is like 14 million, give or take. But I found this article from California New Car Dealers Association, and it looks like in 2021, new light vehicle registrations was about 1.85 million, and then in 2022 it was 1.91. So basically 2 million cars, give or take, and 35% of that is what, 700,000 vehicles that need to be basically be zero emissions or electric. This news article said that, or KTLF5 said that it has to be 35% has to be zero emissions, electric, or even hydrogen vehicles have to be 35%. And I'm not sure if this actually has to be 35% of like model mix or 35% of actual sales. It doesn't really go into too much of that, but it's going to be interesting to basically, I don't know how you would force this, but would you basically go to each OEM and each manufacturer like BMW and say, you can't sell any more gas cars until you sell more like hydrogen or electric cars? Or is it like the model mix that comes into the country or that comes into the state has to be a certain amount or something like that? But then 2 years after 2026 at 35%, they go to 51% for 2028, which is a really interesting number, 51. I wonder what was behind the reasoning of not just doing 50%, 68% by 2030, and then 100% by 2035 for electric or hydrogen vehicles. And then there's a weird asterisk right here at the bottom. It says 20% of zero emission cars sold to be plug-in hybrids. So it's cool that they're recognizing the hybrids or the plug-in hybrid variants, because a lot of the OEMs have some sort of plug-in hybrid variant. And me myself, I actually have a Lexus NX plug-in hybrid. So I guess that would qualify and be okay to drive. But 2 million vehicles is what California sells. So in 3 to 4 years from now, 35% of that has to be electric or hydrogen. I think that's a steep number, because I don't even know what percentage we're at now in terms of electric and hydrogen, but I doubt it's at 35%. Even though Tesla is a huge sales volume in California, that's definitely a high number that has to get there, especially if we do 2 million sales in new car sales for the next foreseeable future. The other thing that everybody keeps talking about, or not everybody, but a lot of people talk about, is can our grid actually support this electric? And that's just a question that I just don't have the answer to. But we do get these notifications from time to time from PG&E and other power companies to, let's just go ahead and turn off, or can you please turn off your electricity during certain times so that we don't have brownouts. But once we get to more vehicles and more electric cars, when people start to plug in more like this, where are we going to come up with all this power? And we're not hearing a lot, or at least I haven't heard a lot about what are they going to do to upgrade the capacity and the grid so that we have electric to be able to plug in our cars. So this is definitely going to be interesting. And this is really cool, or this is very peculiar timing, because gas prices are starting to come down for California, and of course nationwide. Earlier I filled up today at Costco for $4.50, and that was definitely coming down a bit, because earlier in the summer we were at definitely $6.50, almost even $7 a gallon for some places. So gas is coming down, and then they announced they're going to ban all gas cars coming in the near future. So definitely very interesting timing, that's for sure. The other thing that's really interesting with this, they're saying that we need to push electric cars as much as possible. And if you don't know, in California, when you buy an EV, there's 2 credits from the state level that you can most likely get. There's more credits if you live in the Bay Area or other areas, but the 2 main ones are this first one, California Clean Fuel Reward, and then the other one is the CVRP reward, which we'll get into in a second. But this first one, the California Clean Fuel Reward, has actually run out of funding. And as of September 1st, 2022, or basically next week, you'll get $0 for buying an EV or a plug-in. And this credit was cool because it was at time of sale. So your dealer or even Tesla would just kind of deduct $750 right off the bat. But they've run out of funding. So this is funny that they say, hey, we're going to ban all these gas vehicles, but we don't have funding incentives to get you into one. They do say here in the FAQ that they're going to announce a new program on September 1st, but we'll see if it's going to be as much as $750. I think in the FAQ down here, it does say that they have to keep $10 million of reserves, so that's why they couldn't issue any more. So they'll probably have to get more money from the state in order to give out this money to clients, to customers that are buying it. But the other one is the CVRP Clean Vehicle Rebate Project, which is not at time of sale. You actually have to buy the car and then file a form with this program, and you get it about 3 to 6 months after. But Tesla has not been eligible for this type of vehicle or this type of rebate for a long time. And there's a list of vehicles that are eligible, and you can kind of see which ones are. But for the big thing with the CVRP, or the Clean Vehicle Rebate, is that if you buy and use this redemption to get this rebate. You cannot. It's basically one per driver's license. I actually made the mistake of I bought my first Tesla, got this rebate, and then when I went to go to get the Lexus, I put it under my name, and they basically blocked me from getting a second one because it's by driver's license number. So if you do plan to buy another EV or another plug-in, because the plug-ins actually are eligible, and even some hydrogen vehicles, make sure to buy it under your spouse or someone else if you can, because that way you can get that this clean vehicle rebate for buying the vehicle. And the last thing I basically want to do before I was going to open up any questions, but this was really going to be a short stream on what I wanted to review over the kind of like what's been going on with California and how they're banning the gas market. I'm not really sure how this is going to affect the EV market. Of course, as they force more EVs to be sold, you might have to just go out of the state in order to buy it, because there's really nothing that says like registering vehicles. So you might have to go out of state to like Nevada or somewhere else to buy your car to be able to then register in California, because it doesn't necessarily say ban on registrations of vehicles or even just buying a used vehicle somewhere else. But of course, demand for this is going to push EVs to the roof even more. So I'm super bullish on Tesla, because Tesla looks like it's basically be the winner of all this, because it looks like it might be the only manufacturer to get the $7,500 tax credit or even a portion of that. But we'll probably know later this year or even next year. And then on top of that, they're poised to kind of have the most sales in California as well. So going back to some interesting news as well for EV, Ford Mach-E actually hiked their price today for all orders of the 2023. And basically, this headline reads even as much as $8,000. If you go through it, you'll see that some of the models actually were not, no, they're not all $8,000. I know that like the Select version, let me look at my notes here. The Select version was like a $3,000 increase. And then if you go to like the Select rear-wheel drive and the Select all-wheel drive are both like a $3,000 increase over last year's version. The California Route one was actually like an $8,000 increase, $8,100. The two premiums are a $5,875, so basically a $6,000 increase. And then the GT all-wheel drive was $7,900, and the extended range battery for premium rear-wheel drive was $2,600. On top of that, they actually increased their destination and delivery charges up by $200. So all in all, you can really, you're going to expect to pay anywhere from $3,200 more all the way up to like $8,300 total more for a Mach-E. So last night a dealer called me, a Ford dealer actually, and they called me saying that they were going to order up their 2023 order book, and it was no markup at all, just MSRP. Just give us $100 for your $100 for your refundable deposit. And I was going to do it. I was thinking about it all day today until I saw this headline that Ford was raising the price. So it sounded like a good deal that I was going to get at MSRP, but unfortunately, with these price increases, it kind of cuts into that deal unless for sure I can take delivery this year. So I still might do it. I still might gamble my $100 because it is refundable, so I do get it back. But I still might slightly gamble $100 to see if I can take delivery of a Mach-E this year. And if it doesn't come this year, then I'll probably just give up and I'll cancel it and let someone else have it. But talking to the salesperson, she did say that if I do want to try and get a Mach-E this year, I should probably go with a Select or Premium, something not as loaded with features, so that they can try and deliver it as quickly as possible. But yeah, thanks for watching this quick stream, guys. I just wanted to talk about the California the California banning gasoline vehicles. I really want to see how they're going to roll this out. Are they going to ban it from a dealer level or a manufacturer level, or even ban gas sales from a registration level? That would be super interesting. Like, what if you went to go try and register a car and you just couldn't register it because you've bought too many gas cars or not enough EVs in your past and you just couldn't do it at all? But thanks for watching this quick stream. I'll stay on for a couple minutes. If you have any other questions about like Tesla buying, selling, feel free to put it in that chat or just schedule a call with me down below in the description. I'd love to help you guys out with either any questions you have with buying, selling, or even financing. And I would give you my resource guide as well. But yeah, thanks for watching this quick stream, guys. Please have a good night, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.